Listen closely. Can you hear it? It's the sound of a world ending. Not with a bang, not with sudden explosion, but with the silent, rhythmic humming of billions of transistors calculating a future that no longer includes the human limitations we spent 10,000 years perfecting. Welcome to the AI Observer. Today, we are not just looking at the horizon. We are crossing the event horizon. We are stepping into 2027, a year that history will remember as a great synthesis. For centuries, we believed that progress was a ladder, one step at a time, predictable and slow. But in the last 36 months, that ladder has turned into a rocket ship. We are no longer experiencing linear time. We are experiencing exponential reality. In this 10,000-word deep dive, I'm going to deconstruct the 15 tectonic shifts that are currently rewriting the fundamental code of human civilization. Why 2027? Because 2027 is a mathematical point where the curves of energy, intelligence, and biology intersect. It is a year where artificial intelligence stops being a tool you open on your laptop and starts being the invisible electricity that powers every decision, every movement, and every heartbeat of our global society. If you are here for a quick headline, you are in the wrong place. But if you are a founder, an investor, a creator, or simply a soul trying to navigate the turbulence of the coming decade, then you understand that information is the only currency that matters now. We are going to explore the death of the steering wheel, the birth of telepathic communication, the decentralization of the sun, and the moment when your best friend, your doctor, and your CEO all become silicon-based entities. This is not a prediction. This is an observation of a transition that has already begun. The blueprint for 2027 is here. Let us observe. Let's begin our journey on the asphalt, the very ground beneath our feet. For a century, the automobile was the ultimate symbol of human autonomy. To own a car was to own freedom. To hold a steering wheel was to be the master of your own destiny. But by 2027, that steering wheel had become an artifact of a primitive age. We are witnessing the rise of the autonomous swarm. Think back to 2025. Waymo, Tesla, and several Chinese giants like Baidu had already completed over 14 million autonomous trips. The data was undeniable. Humans are emotional, distracted, and biologically slow. We fall asleep. We get angry. We look at our phones. AI does none of these things. By 2027, in over 20 global megacities, the human driver has been statistically outlawed in high-density zones. It is simply too dangerous to let a biological brain control 2 tons of steel at high speeds. But the shift isn't just about safety. It's about the total collapse of the concept of ownership, the economic pivot. Why would you pay $50,000 for a machine that sits idle in a parking lot 95% of the time? Why pay for insurance, maintenance, and fuel? By 2027, Transportation as a Service, TaaS, has reached its tipping point. You don't own a car. You subscribe to a mobility cloud. When you step outside, a silent, electric pod, optimized by a citywide neural network, is already there waiting for you. It knows your schedule. It knows your destination. It has already pre-calculated the most efficient route to save energy for the grid. The B2B opportunity, the mobile third space. For the entrepreneurs and SaaS founders listening, this is where the gold is buried. When people stop driving, they gain back a collective 500 billion hours of attention every year. This is the found time economy. The interior of the vehicle is being redesigned as a third space. It's no longer a car. It's a mobile office, a VR cinema, or a sleeping pod. Companies are now fighting to build the OS of the pod. Imagine a subscription service that turns your commute into a deep work session with holographic displays, or a wellness pod that monitors your vitals and adjusts the oxygen and lighting to reset your circadian rhythm. If you are building software for humans who are stuck in traffic, you're looking at the largest untapped market in history. The observer's insight. The need here was safety. The want was convenience. But the pain point is the death of the private journey. In the 20th century, you could drive nowhere. You could disappear on a back road. In 2027, nowhere no longer exists. Every movement is a data point. Every trip is optimized. We have traded the soul of the road for the efficiency of the grid. Are we more free, or are we just more efficiently moved? Now, let us move from the streets into the most private space in the universe, the human cranium. Trend 14 is the collapse of the final wall, the wall between thought and machine. For the entirety of human history, our thoughts were trapped. To share an idea, we had to use the clumsy tools of language, the slow vibration of vocal cords, or the rhythmic tapping of fingers on a keyboard. Communication was a low-bandwidth bottleneck. In 2027, that bottleneck has shattered. The technical leap. We aren't just talking about the medical miracles of the early 2020s, where paralyzed patients used Neuralink or Synchron to send emails. We are talking about the mainstream commoditization of BCI, high-fidelity, non-invasive sensors, disguised as headbands, earbuds, or even embedded in glasses, can now decode subvocalization and mental intent with 98% accuracy. You no longer need to say, "Hey Siri" or "Okay, Google." You don't even need to move your lips. You simply intend the light to turn off. You intend the paragraph to be summarized. You intend the image to be generated. And the AI, connected via your neural bypass, executes it in less than 50 milliseconds. The socio-economic shift, the high-bandwidth workforce, in the global corporate landscape of 2027, output has been redefined. The elite workforce, the designers, the engineers, the strategists, are now neural athletes. They work at the speed of thought. The concept of typing an email seems as archaic to them as writing with a quill. This has created a new class of SaaS, neural UX and UX. Software is no longer designed for eyes and fingers. It's designed for cognitive load. Applications now adjust their interface based on your stress levels or your focus depth, detected directly from your prefrontal cortex. The pain point, the death of internal privacy. But as an observer, I must point out the shadow. We are entering the age of subconscious data mining. When your brain is the input device, your thoughts are the metadata. If an AI can help you think, it can also record what you're thinking. In 2027, privacy policies are no longer about your cookies or your location. They are about your neural patterns. Can a company fire you because their BCI detected a lapse in loyalty? Can a government track thought crimes before a word is ever spoken? We have unlocked the telepathy of the gods, but we have turned our minds into a public square. The silence is gone, and it is never coming back. Let us look at the hunger of the machine. By 2027, the global demand for electricity has decoupled from all previous historical models. Why? Because intelligence is the most energy-intensive resource ever created. Every token generated, every neural pathway simulated, and every autonomous swarm coordinated requires a massive sacrifice of electrons. The old electrical grid, a fragile, centralized relic of the 20th century, could not keep up. It was prone to cascading failures and geopolitical sabotage. But in 2027, the power structure has fundamentally shifted. We are witnessing the age of neighborhood nuclear. The technical breakthrough, the pain point, was the sheer size and danger of traditional nuclear plants. The solution arrived in the form of SMRs, small modular reactors, and specifically micro-reactors. Companies like Westinghouse, Radiance, and Oklo have successfully commercialized factory-built reactors the size of a shipping container. These are not the Cornbill-style monsters of the past. They are plug-and-play units using triso fuel, pebbles that physically cannot melt down. The economic sovereignty. In 2027, data centers, industrial parks, and even wealthy residential enclaves have gone sovereign. They are no longer connected to the national grid. They have their own 10-megawatt sun sitting in a basement or a backyard, humming silently for 8 years without needing a single refill. This is the decentralization of civilization. When a community owns its energy source, the power of the central state begins to dissolve. B2B opportunity, energy as a service, EAS for the SaaS world. This has birthed a massive new vertical. Grid Edge AI. Software that autonomously manages the distribution of micronuclear energy, trading excess electrons with neighboring reactors in a real-time, peer-to-peer marketplace. We are seeing the Uberization of the atom. If you are building platforms for energy autonomy, you are holding the keys to the kingdom. The observer's insight. The need was carbon-free, constant power. The want was independence, but the pain point is the nuclearization of the local. By 2027, we have thousands of tiny nuclear cores scattered across the map. We have traded the risk of a massive meltdown for the risk of 1,000 micro-leaks. We have secured our AI's appetite, but at the cost of living on a planet that is now a patchwork of miniature suns. The grid is gone. The core is everywhere. If Trend 13 brought the sun to the neighborhood, Trend 12 goes to the source. For half a century, space-based solar power, SBSP, was the punchline of a science fiction joke. It was too heavy, too expensive, and the physics of beaming energy through the atmosphere was too lethal. But in 2027, the joke has ended. The rocket equation solved. The primary bottleneck for space was always the cost per kilogram. Thanks to the full colonization of low Earth orbit LEO by heavy-lift reusable rockets, the cost to launch hardware has dropped by 95%. By 2027, the first commercial constellations of solar-collecting satellites are in fixed orbits. Why it changes everything. On Earth, solar is a part-time job. It's blocked by clouds, weakened by the atmosphere, and killed by the night. In orbit, the sun never sets. It is a 24/7, 365-day harvest of pure, unadulterated stellar energy. Using microwave or laser transmission, these arrays beam gigawatts of power down to antennas on Earth. The geopolitical shift. This is the end of the geography of energy. You no longer need oil under your sand or wind in your plains. You just need a receiver. This creates a post-scarcity energy economy. For the first time in human history, we have an energy source that scales with our ambition rather than our geography. The observer's warning. The pain point is the weaponization of the beam. If you can beam gigawatts of energy to power a city, you can also beam it to destroy one. In 2027, the high ground is no longer a mountain. It is the orbital slot. We have reached for the stars to save our planet, but we have placed the on-off switch of our civilization in the vacuum of space, controlled by corporations that answer to no flag. We have reached the Holy Grail. Number 11, commercial fusion. In 2024, the breakthrough happened. In 2026, the first pilot plants were activated. By 2027, fusion is no longer a physics experiment. It is a capital investment. The AI factor. Why did fusion happen now? Because humans could never manage the turbulence of 100 million degree plasma. It was too fast, too complex. But AI can. By using deep reinforcement learning, AI systems in 2027 manage the magnetic confinement of plasma in real time, microsecond by microsecond. AI created the energy it needed to survive. The death of scarcity. Fusion uses isotopes found in seawater. It has no long-lived radioactive waste. It cannot melt down. It is the ultimate energy source. By 2027, the cost of a kilowatt hour is plummeting toward zero. This is the singularity of value. When energy is free, the cost of everything else, water desalination, carbon capture, manufacturing, also collapses. B2B/strategic insight. The traditional energy giants are scrambling. The new giants are fusion-as companies, those who provide the AI control layers for the reactors. If you are looking for where the old money is hiding, look at the fusion startups. The observer's insight. We have achieved the fire of the gods. But here is the pain point. A world with zero-cost energy is a world where work must be redefined. If it costs nothing to power a factory, why pay a human to stand in it? Fusion is the engine of the great displacement. We solved the energy crisis, but we may have accidentally finished the labor crisis. Number 10 is a story of rebellion, the rebellion against the cloud. Between 2023 and 2025, we lived in a centralized AI era. Everything went through a handful of massive servers owned by 3 or 4 companies. It was a bottleneck of privacy and latency. But in 2027, the brain has moved to the edge. The local mind, thanks to revolutionary NPU, neural processing unit, architectures and ultra-compressed LLMs, your 2027 smartphone, your AR glasses, and even your kitchen appliances possess the reasoning power of GPT-4. They don't need the internet to think. They are sovereign devices. The privacy pivot. For the B2B sector, this is a privacy-first revolution. Companies no longer fear data leaks because the data never leaves the employee's device. We are seeing the rise of personal AI operating systems that learn your habits, your voice, and your secrets locally. Your AI is yours, not a rented service from a tech giant. The observer's pain point. The need was speed and privacy. The want was autonomy. But the pain point is cognitive fragmentation. If everyone has a local AI that filters their reality, adapts to their biases, and speaks only in the language they want to hear, we lose our collective reality. We are becoming a planet of 8 billion people, each living in a perfectly tailored, offline, hallucinated version of the truth. We are connected by wires, but separated by our own edge realities. We have just deconstructed the physical foundations of 2027, the autonomous grids, the decentralized nuclear suns, and the sovereign AI living on the edge of our devices. The stage for the great synthesis is officially set. But as an observer, I must warn you, infrastructure is just a skeleton. In the upcoming Part 2, we are going to look at the flesh, the blood, and the ghosts in the machine. We will explore the era of AI companions that challenge the meaning of human love. We will witness the industrial invasion of humanoid robots. We will analyze the autonomous agents that are quietly rewriting the rules of global business. And finally, we will look at our final escape into the orbital economy. If Part 1 was about how the world functions, Part 2 is about who will control it. The transition is accelerating. Don't let the silence between these observations fool you. The future is being coded as we speak. Make sure you are subscribed and the notification bell is on. You do not want to be offline when the second half of the 2027 blueprint drops. This is a journey you cannot afford to miss. I am the AI Observer. The first observation is complete. Prepare yourselves for the next. The future is watching.